Hey guys, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Nicholas here from NFX Up. If you're the first time you're just joining us, if it's going to be very helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Also, if you're not in our Discord community, try to get in as soon as possible because we'll be sharing real-time market updates. Also, you get a chance to discuss with other Forex traders and share your insight about the markets. And it's better to trade with other traders. You build that community strength. Today, we're going to take a look at the Forex outlook for the week, focusing on gold, US oil, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. So first, as usual, we're going to start with our gold chart, which is already on our screen. And last week we saw a lot of interesting activity in gold. I mean, the gold gave us a new all-time high, almost 3,600. I mean, it was a brokers hit 3,600, and that was ridiculous. I mean, all this was due to the NFP, which was really surprising. Usually, it's hard to see NFP that bad. See if I can even scrap that out from our calendar. Last week was terribly, terribly bad. We saw the NFP report was far subpar. We were expecting at least 77K. We were actually expecting something better than the previous week NFP data, only for us to get the data which way more worse than what we've been having. I can see that here. So, oh, sorry, this is no. So that should be on Friday. Yeah. So yeah, on Friday we saw unemployment rate for Canada was 7.1%, way much higher than previously. That was terrible, and the US didn't disappoint at all. We saw that NFP was 22K, all the way from 77K expectations, and the last month was also 73K. So these are two consecutive poor performance, which is very unusual. I mean, the last couple of months has been really good, and after last month NFP in August, Trump sacked the certain person, but now we don't even know what to do. If we're gonna say the news was this was only the fluke, it was actually the rating that we were getting. It tells us that the U.S. economy is in a very terrible state, and with these reports, it means that there's a high possibility for us to see the rate cut this September. And if that doesn't happen, there have to be something really, really going on. So that was a report from the NFP, and that saw pushed the price of gold all the way from 35.50 to 35.90, of that's just the 3,600, which was expected due to the very poor reports from the US economy. So now we're seeing gold currently moving in this ascending channel. Although another interesting thing I'm going to show you guys, because before the NFP reports, gold has been in an overbought territory, and we saw this very strong bearish divergence on the H4. And also, regardless of the reports, there is still another divergence formation forming up here. If you take a look at these two channels, I'm gonna highlight this to make it much clearer. So we'll pick up this zone from here to here, and now I believe it's much clearer now. So I'm gonna take a look at the formation on so you see this. So we have higher highs and then we have lower lows. This tells us that despite the NFP results, the market is still heavily in a bearish position. So we could expect that we'll see further lower prices regardless of the NFP data, because gold has been in an overbought territory, and the boost trend has been weakening. So we only saw this heavy volume due to the NFP outlook, and that was due to traders taking advantage of the news. But then this euphoria is going to die off soon, and this coming week I'm expecting to see lower prices on gold, unlike last month. Because if you check a look at last month before the last NFP result on August 1st, you see gold had been in a long-term decline. So the NFP was the catalyst that reversed the trend upwards. But now, after we broke out from this ascending triangle, which was around here, gold has been completely in a bullish market move. So, of course, I'm not saying that it's not possible for us to see higher prices on gold. It's very possible, but market is actually fully overbought. Whenever we get this heavy overbought level on the larger time frame, this is the daily time frame, there's high possibility for us to see price start declining. That's what we have here. Way back, you see there's multiple divergence formation, and also we are seeing that same thing again here. Both on the H4 daily, we're seeing this divergence formation. On the 8-hour time frame too, we're seeing the same divergence formation. And lastly, the 4-hour time frame, we're seeing the same divergence formation. And even on the hourly time frame, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we get the same divergence formation. You see, that is these are telling you so much signs for a large turnaround, a large sell correction. So uh, if I'm gonna be so bullish on gold, it's because of the U.S. report. But mind you, just the U.S. is not enough to control the price of gold, right? They have many other factors: global economic tension, tariff stuff, and if there's any sign of ease on this stuff, they're likely gonna propel bearish movement on gold. Also, if there is a sign of peace, within the Russia and Ukraine war, these are also likely going to propel the bearish turnaround for gold, regardless of the U.S. terrible economic state. So, guys, I'm going to be very mindful if I'm taking a buy on gold. I will not be so euphoric or so hedonistic about the whole thing. Yes, the signs are there, but also trade with care. Also, I'm going to show you guys something on the XAU arrow too, because on the XAU arrow, it's clear you can see this sort of formation, which ideally should be a progressive bullish formation. This is a pennant, and this is usually a bullish continuation, and ideally we should get the heights from the previous time before we get to the market. That should be our targets level. Now this will likely happen, but not now. I don't think it's going to happen now, and that's the reason, because even while we had this pennant formation that should show us continuity of price movements, we cannot neglect the fact that we're also seeing another bearish formation here. If we pick up this tool, this is where the market closed last week, and same thing we just did on the XAU-USD. You see, we are having a clear divergence forming up again. Now this is on the hourly time frame, so we're having this divergence forming up again, and all of this indication is telling us one thing: the bulls they're wearing out. They are wearing out, and there's no more strength. On the 4-hour time frame, we have the same divergence formation there. On the 8-hour time frame, we have same divergence formation coming up, and also I think on a daily time frame too. I'm not so sure. Yeah, we also have a very slight mini divergence forming up over there, and all of this is telling us the same thing. There is a high possibility for a reversal, and that reversal will is imminent. It will definitely happen. We could see price drop back really low, or down to either towards the breakout level here, or I'm gonna put these in black clarity purpose. Yeah, either the breakout level here to 29.30, that's for euros, or we could see price will drop low up to 28.78. And for XAU-USD, we could see price drop really low down to the breakout level, either 34.68 or somewhat around towards the moving average level. That should be somewhat around 34.50 or 34.40. So these are like our key levels which we are looking at for. And yeah, we could see higher prices. We cannot ignore that. That's a very big possibility, but there's higher possibility for us to see lower prices on both XAU-USD and XAU-ARO. And this is a formation possibly happened. This is the initial formation which happened. We're gonna neglect that, so I'm gonna put that in, make that smaller, just to show you guys some possibilities. We have these here too. I'm gonna make this smaller, show you guys some possibility. And then we also have, I'm gonna show you guys something interesting here. So we also have this scenario also coming up. So you see that there are multiple patterns in the same spot. So that's why it's a very interesting and also a very critical spot for gold. I'm actually watching. I waiting to see what happens when the market opens tomorrow or later tonight. So this is one formation which we have here. This is another. This one picking up these two highs and these two lows at another formation. This is also a possible reversal formation. So we have this here as our initial formation, and this triangle showing us the resistance and the support level. Possible formation, we'll see price test the lower band and likely break below or rebounds. But yeah, these are the possible setups, and we're looking at for that. So next is the US oil. Now last week we took a very great trade on US oil, over 2,400 pips. So that's why if you're not in our Discord community, you have to be there. That was an amazing trade. I'm just gonna see if I can still show you guys the setup which we took there. A little short position somewhere around here. We got in. This is the 440. Yeah, and we closed around here. Yeah, before yeah, well, exactly around this level, about 2,400 pips we took from this trade, and that was an amazing trade. So that's why you should not be missing out from our Discord channel. You should be there so you can get access to all this trade, and also be in our membership plan on nfxup.com to give you access to more premium educational insights and trade insight as well. So this is what we saw crude oil happen. Of course, we expected the poor crude oil inventory reports, and that was necessary, and that happened. So another thing we are watching out for crude oil, because we expected this level, and this level has already been reached, our target level, is either we're going to get a slight retracement back up, or we hit our major target, which is 60.4. Now 60.40 is the price which I think is fair for the oil, considering the fact that Saudi Arabia right now is already proposing an increase in the OPEC supply. And if they should increase supply, you know the basic economics, higher supply, less demand, we get lower prices. And that's exactly what could play out. So we're going to be watching at this key level. Now that we have the breakout slightly below this level, if we see price linger around here, then no problem. But if we don't, now there's high possibility for we see price continue to drop lower. This is the base which I'm looking at for. This is the significant part. This is not. This is very minor supports. This is the major one which I'm expecting us to see price target. So if for any reason we see price start going back up, I'm going to quickly pick up the brush tool. If we start seeing price going back up, maybe towards here, or even possibly go back up again, then shut it again because you can shut with full confidence, because we are definitely going to go back down. There is no long-term oil is very bearish. There is no strong supporting fundamentals to keep the market momentum from the bullish momentum on the market. We're going to see lower prices on oil, like it now, not later. So the higher we get retracement back up, the better it is for us to get a re-entry on this trade and shut it back down. I'm looking towards price below 60, and even possible we should be trending towards the lower band of 55. Those are our key SR levels. All right, guys, that's all for US oil. And the next we have is Mr. Bitcoin. So for Bitcoin, I'm going to be looking at it from a different angle this week. Of course, we still got a larger time frame where we have the longer channels on Bitcoin, but I'm going to just zoom in. Let's focus on what has been happening recently in the market. So last week we saw the market, moving in this channel formation, and this is our band. I'm going to see if I can zoom. So this is our trend, which we currently have right now fully active, and price has been oscillating between this upper and lower band of the channel. And last week we saw the breakout happened, and now we just mainly watching. I'm going to show this on the lower time. We can see more candles formation, and it's much clearer. Yeah. So we had that breakout last week, and price has been moving in this, consolidating after the breakout, and that's gave us this formation here. I'm going to show you guys something very interesting. So we see price in this lower support and resistance range in charts, and after the breakout. So of course we already know fully well right now that we are looking towards higher prices. I'm expecting to see Bitcoin hit 124k again this week. That's my target for this week, and it's very possible. I just need the price to go above our 200-day moving average, and that's why we'll be seeing this consolidation. Last week we saw this short-term divergence formation followed by the bearish drop, and now we're seeing the possibility for price to start ascending forward. You can see this multiple times. From the previous drop, we've been having strong bullish rejection of the lower prices, and that tells us that the momentum is gathering heavily. So we only have just some sort of like a sell-off, and that's what pushed the price low. But you can see through the chart, we've been having a lot of increase in buys, accumulation. This tells us that we're already getting ripe for a very bullish breakout. So if we get that, I believe we should see that this week we should see a very strong bullish breakout, and price heading for higher highs or higher all-time highs, and hopefully we should get 128k, because historically September has always been a bullish month for Bitcoin. September, October, November, December, these have always been a very strong bullish month for Bitcoin, and I don't expect any difference this year. So guys, that's it for Bitcoin, and that's our target. So if you're going to be on this trade, I'm going to share this. Actually, we have this trade running in our Discord community. So if you're not there, try to get in there so you can see the full trade setup. But we have this running, and this is our setup. So I'm going to arrange this. We had an entry quite early, I'm sure. I think 111.200 thereabout. So these are set up, except somewhere around here. So definitely, if you in this trade, if you follow this trade, yeah, say hi on Discord, and I'll know you took this trade with me. All right, guys. So the last trade I'm gonna look at is the Ethereum USDT. Now Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, have been in this long-term channel, bullish channel as well. And now we're seeing price, hover, excuse me, over around the breakout zone. So similar to Bitcoin, we have a setup on Ethereum that is on a ranging pattern formation. So price has been moving in this range, oscillating between the upper and lower band of the channel. And I don't expect anything different, but I'm expecting to see a bullish breakout this week. We've been in this level of accumulation for quite a long time. And I think, yeah, it's high time we start breaking up. So you can see the multiple bullish divergence here. This just happened recently again. And though the divergence is actually very close, I mean, it's not so much significant, but it's still a divergence. So I'm expecting to see higher prices this week on market open on Monday. So this weekend has been really slow. Saturday, since Friday, we've been seeing a very slow market movement. So by on Monday, tomorrow, I'm expecting us to see a heavy bullish movements on both Bitcoin and Ethereum. This week is going to be great. Also, we send this trade in our Discord community as well. And yeah, and that's the last thing I'm going to tell you guys. You should be there already. I believe by now you should already be there. We have the trade setup coming up, and then we are expecting the target of somewhere around here. That will be about 58 points. And on Bitcoin, we're looking at a very heavy, about 1,200 pips or so, thereabout. And then guys, that's all for today. If you have any questions or you have any thoughts about the analysis, please drop your comments and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. And also, if you have the chat, feel free to share in our Discord community and also get interact with me personally. Guys, that'll be all for now. Cheers, and see you all next week.